Hello students. Now today I will brief about a Toppers Academy as such. As you know, we are going to start into the Sidco region in the Vidya Vihar classes. Our Toppers Academy, this is the fourth branch, and there we will be teaching you mostly the four subjects are there: physics, chemistry, mathematics and biology. Now as far as the introductory part is there, this is my first lecture. My name is Deepak Patil. I am the director of Toppers Academy. Now today I will brief you especially about one subject, that is biology, and in my next lecture I will give the brief idea that how you can prepare for different types of the competitive exams. Now as far as today's lecture is there, mainly we will be studying about a subject, that is your biology. What is the meaning of biology, and what are different types of the lessons you are going to study in your 11th standard. So this is a kind of, you can say, introduction about the biology subject as such. Now as far as the biology is there, you know what is the meaning of a biology. See, biology is basically derived from a Latin term that is called as the bios. Bios means what? Bios means the living things, and logos means what? Logos means to study. See, whenever you study the living organisms, that branch of science is basically called as biology. So whenever you study about a living things, that is known as biology. It is quite interesting subject, and I can say that amongst all the four subjects what we are going to study in your 11th standard, this is the most easy, you can say, the subject is there amongst the physics, chemistry and mathematics. Now as far as the term biology is there, as I told you, this is made up of two different types of words together. Bios means living and logos means to study. So here basically we are going to study about what? We are going to study about the living things. Very simple question is that what is mean by the living? If I ask you the questions, that what is mean by the living things? See, there are different types of characters are there of the living things that will study in the living world itself. But today we will study that living things includes three parts together. One is called as the plants. As you know, there are different types of plants are there. There are different types of plant. A very small plant and a huge plant like redwood tree. All these kind of the plants are starting from your algae up to the angiosperm. So as far as the living things are there, we are going to study about the plants. Secondly, we are going to study about the animals. Even we are also included into the animals. When you say animals, what it includes? It includes the fish, it includes the insects, it includes birds, it includes reptiles, it includes the mammals. All these kind of things are basically animals. So in biology we are going to study about the animals and whatever the microbes are there. You know, the microbes are very small microscopic organisms are there, what you can't see them with your naked eyes. So these kind of organisms are basically called as the microbes, like a fungus is there or the bacteria are there. Viruses, we can't say that viruses are the living thing. Nowadays, whatever the problem we are facing, that is about a coronavirus. Coronavirus or any other kind of viruses, these are not a living thing. Why they are not living? That we'll study later. So understand? See, as far as the living things are there, we are going to study about the plants, animals and the microbes. So when you study all these three organisms together, and the biology. As far as the biology is there, basically we can divide the biology in two parts again. One is called as the botany, which deals with the study of only the plants, and zoology, which related to the study of animals. So whenever you study the zoology and botany together, it is known as the biology. Now, as far as your 11th standard syllabus is there, these books are available into the market, and also I given you the PDF of this particular textbook also. You can just go through the index. It's quite interesting. So just today I will brief you about what are the different types of the lessons are there, then what is the importance of these lessons for different kinds of competitive exams. Now as far as your syllabus of 11th standard is there, a very first lesson that is called as the living world. There actually you are going to study about that what are the characteristics feature of the living things. What are the characters of living things? Then how these particular characters are only fit for the living, not fit for the non-living things. So it is quite interesting lesson, the first one, the living world. The second lesson, that is the systematics of the living world. See, systematics is the branch of biology which deals with the classification, nomenclature, giving the scientific name to the organism, that is called as systematics. So there we will be studying about how the different kinds of organisms, they are classified into different categories. So this is the second the lesson is there. Then you will be studying about the kingdom Plantae. See, Plantae, when you say the kingdom Plantae, which includes all different types of plants. As I told you earlier, whether it is algae which is found in water, whether it is bryophytes, what is found during the rainy season, then whether it is a pteridophytes, that is a smaller kind of plants, then there are gymnosperms are there, and highly evolved there are angiosperms are there. So all these kind of the plants we are going to study about the kingdom Plantae. It is quite easy and easy to understand this kind of things in this lesson. Then another lesson consists of the kingdom Animalia, in which you will be studying about the characters of animals, then the classification of animals, how we can classify the animals, what are the different types of animals are there. Just now I told you, the insects are the animals, the fish are the animals, the birds are the animals, the reptiles are the animals, the mammals are the animals. So you will be going to study about all these kind of different kinds of animals, their classification, their characters, everything, along with the example. So quite interesting lesson is there. Then you will be studying about what is meant by the cell. As you know, you must have studied in your lower standard that the cell is called as the basic fundamental unit of life. So here we are going to study about the cell structure and the organization, only about the cell itself. Another lesson consists of the biomolecules, which is consist of the biochemistry, whatever the contents are there in our body. Carbohydrates are there, lipids are there, proteins are there, nucleic acids are there, DNA, RNA, all these kind of things you are going to study in biomolecules. It is somewhat related to your chemistry part. Next lesson, that is the cell division. You know, cell division, one single cell is there. This cell undergoes a division to form the two daughter cells. That is known as the cell division. This is another easy lesson you can say of your 11th standard. Then come to the next lesson, that is called as the plant tissue. See, plant tissue consists of the different types of the tissues which are present into the plant. Like epidermis is there, xylem is there, or phloem is there. So all these kind of tissue we are going to study in this lesson. Then another important lesson, that is the morphology of flowering plants. You know, this is quite important lesson is there because you can say this is the backbone of your biology subject. Because in this lesson you are going to study right from the root the stem, the leaf, the flower, the fruits and the seeds, and the classification of fungi. Very important lesson is there as far as your competitive exams are there. There are different types of competitive exams like NET or CET. So this lesson is quite important and quite interesting and easy lesson is there. The next lesson, that is the animal tissue, in which you are going to study about the different types of tissue which are relevant into the animal body. Like our skin, it is epidermal tissue. Our hairs, our nails, how they are derived, what kind of tissue are there. Our intestine is made up of which type of cells. So that detailed study you are going to study in animal tissue. Next lesson, that is the study of animal type. In this case, you are going to study about a cockroach. You know, cockroach belongs to the group Insecta. So about the characteristics feature of the insects, by taking the example of cockroach, you are going to study. Now these two lessons, photosynthesis and respiration, quite vast lessons are there. They are very important. You must have studied little bit about photosynthesis as well as the respiration in your lower standard. But here we are going to study more detail about the photosynthesis as well as the respiration. Again, I can tell you here, these both lessons are important as far as your the competitive exams are there. Photosynthesis and respiration. Then next part concerned with the human nutrition, that is our digestive system, alimentary canal, how the process of digestion takes place. So that we are going to study in the human nutrition. Now the next lesson, that is the excretion, which is concerned with your kidney, the excretory system, how the formation of urine takes place. It is quite an interesting lesson is there. Then the last lesson, which that is the human skeleton, which consists of the skeleton as well as the locomotion. You know, there are two types of skeleton system are there present into our body, exoskeleton and endoskeleton. Exo means what? That is the outside. Endo means what? That is the inside. So in this lesson we are going to study about the bones, the cartilage, then the locomotory part of your body, that is how the locomotion takes place, what are different types of movements are there. So all these lessons, there are basically 16 lessons are there in your 11th standard. So that we will be studying one by one. So today's lecture is quite, you can say, introductory part of this particular subject is there, and from today onwards we are going to study about this particular lesson. Whatever the important points are there, that I am going to tell you. You will be having certain type of the assignments so that you can work on your own. You have to solve a certain type of MCQs which is based on this particular lesson. My next lecture, I will going to inform your WhatsApp group. We may join me on the video lectures. That details or the links I will share with you very shortly. All the best. Thank you very much.